Okay, hi guys, welcome back to my podcast. I am in fact back in Los Angeles. I feel like my intros at this point are just to let you know where I am in the world, and I'm in LA. Unfortunately so, because I really wish I was in New York. I don't know if you saw on my Instagram, if you follow me on Instagram, I am a new aunt, and I have a little baby. In New York that I want to hang out with. I got a little baby in New York. I'm so happy for my sister. I'm so happy for my brother-in-law. I'm so happy for my family. Everyone's so excited. She's giving me so many reasons to live. I'm so happy that she's around. I'm so happy that she's a part of my family. Anyway, this is going to be a short intro. I just want to let you guys know, if you haven't bought tickets to come on my tour, please buy tickets to go on my tour. It's coming up. It's like literally it's happening so soon. I'm kind of stressed out. But it's going to be awesome. It's going to be so fun. It's going to be so gay. If you are craving having just like some gay community time, I think it's going to be so fun. And if you're also looking for something that's like not just like a party, it's like something different. It's just a different kind of gay thing. Come to my gay thing. Come to my tour, please. I would love to have you there. My guests are all so cool, so fun, so amazing. Come see them. Come see me. Buy tickets to my tour. And yeah. Follow me on all my socials. I'm so stoked about the guest today. Robby is so funny to me. I love Robby so much. Love hanging out with them. I think they're hysterical. So enjoy this episode. Reminder that they are a comedian, so it's silly. It's light. Okay, don't get too stressed. All right, enjoy this episode. This episode is sponsored by ZocDoc. When was the last time you needed to make a doctor's appointment and you made an excuse? Because I could think of a million times I've needed to make a doctor's appointment and I made an excuse. But there's no excuses now that there is ZocDoc. And are you sick by chance? Because I feel like everyone is sick. So please make a doctor's appointment. ZocDoc is a free app and website where you can search and compare high-quality in-network doctors and click to instantly book an appointment. I love ZocDoc. I have used it and I stand by it. I recommend it to you. You should definitely look into it, especially if you're not feeling well. Stop putting off those doctor's appointments and go to ZocDoc.com/exes to find and instantly book a top-rated doctor today. That's ZocDoc.com/exes. And one more time, that's ZocDoc.com/exes. This episode is sponsored by Indeed. Hiring the right people quickly is so important. I wish I had used Indeed when I was hiring for my business because it would have been so much faster, so much easier. There's no need to wait any longer. Speed up your hiring today with Indeed. And listeners to this show will get a $75 sponsored job credit to get your job more visibility at Indeed.com/XS. Just go to Indeed.com/XS and support my show by letting Indeed know that I told you about them. Indeed.com/XS. Terms and conditions apply. Hiring? Indeed is all you need.
You said it was good to know me. Why is that?
It's nice to know you. It's also nice to know you, like, and film this knowing you and like having I'm not scared of you.
Would you be scared of me before?
I think I maybe would have been scared of you if
I'm not scared of you. It's like Bernie Mac, one of the greatest stand-ups. I'm not scared of you.
Yeah,
that's you. So you would have been, but now I'm a sweetie.
You're a sweetie. Yeah, I'm not scared of you anymore. I come off aggressive,
but I'm opposite Ellen, as everybody knows.
Opposite Ellen.
She comes off nice, but she can, obviously be a terror. And I come off aggressive, but I'm actually a delight.
It really is so true. You're so sweet. And also, when I first became aware of your existence, I was like, I don't know if I can have Robby on my podcast because your brand is so much more less PC than mine. But then I'm like, wait, no. Now that I know you and know all the places that you're coming from, I'm like, no.
So that's my brand.
Align. Yeah, I feel like your brand is to
I never thought I had a brand.
You don't think you have a brand?
What is a brand?
You have a very
I gotta
strong
start
brand.
Merchandising. What's this fucking brand?
First of all, you have a look, which is a brand. You
Cutie.
have a very cutie. You have a very strong brand visually.
Okay.
Wouldn't you say?
You know what? Brand is such a word that's just not been in my vocab.
Well, don't you think as a comedian and a bit like you're selling yourself?
Yeah, I guess I'm selling myself, but not. It doesn't feel that way.
Yeah. But you are.
Like I just get to be me.
Yeah. Well,
and that's fun.
I think if you are someone like you have such a strong, it's so true. You're so authentically yourself, but that to other people can come off as like a brand. Like,
Right. No, I'm sure everything is a brand the way that you're thinking about. When I think of a brand, I think of Levi's, I think of Coca-Cola.
Yeah. And
You know what
Robby
I
Hoffman.
mean? So, yeah, I don't think of it like that. But now that we're thinking of it like this, I got to get a business plan together. I
Yeah.
should be monetizing
Yeah.
this brand.
You should.
I don't know what the logo is.
It could be like the outline of your glasses and
I
the
was
part
just
in your
thinking.
hair.
Wow.
You have a strong brand, both like comedy-wise and visually and social media presence. Like all of it is a brand.
It's all very random. Like if you pitched it, it wouldn't work. But once you see it on me, it's kind of like, oh, okay.
No, it works.
You know, it works for one person. It fits one person exactly.
It's
It's not, you know, you can't extrapolate it. It's not, what's the word when you standardize something? It's not something a one size fits all.
No.
It's certainly custom, but
It's certainly custom.
you know, it's kind of like when I think about if somebody, you know, if God pitched the earth, right? Like it wouldn't sound good. Like if you pitched like the planet Earth, they'd be like, it sounds like a lot of blue. And you're like, no, I know it seems like a lot of blue. We're doing 75% blue. It is bold. There's no question. Could we do 50% green, 50%? It's bold. I'm telling you, the land to ocean ratio, it works when you have it.
Yeah.
Like, you know, it's something that you can't pitch, but once you see it, go, wow, what a beautiful planet.
Yeah, 100%. Also, you just compared yourself like to the earth.
Well, we're all our own Earths.
Earth. It's true. I know you've said before, like, you're like, the world revolves around you or whatever.
Right.
I agree with that. I guess, like, how could it not revolve around you?
No, exactly. When they say, you know, the world doesn't revolve around you, to you, it does. You're only on the vantage point of yourself.
Yeah.
So you're standing from the point of your legs, unless you don't have legs. Guys, I'm sorry if you don't have legs. This is nothing, you know, I love you. You know, but from your chair, whatever it is, you're at that point is what I mean. And you can only look around from that.
That's true.
So the world is quite literally revolving around you.
It is so true. Okay, can I intro you?
Yes, please.
Okay. Hi, guys. Welcome back to X's and O's. I'm your host, Shannon Beveridge, and I'm so excited to have this guest today. First of all, she already made me switch spots with her, so she is a diva, but she also is an
I like to lean this way.
She also is an amazing comedian, and she is also a podcast host. Are you
yes,
up to your
Too Far
podcast?
is back.
It's back?
Listen, Too Far is back, I believe, exactly next week, February 4th, I believe. We are Patreon only due to some censorship issues that we've experienced in the past.
I wonder why.
You know, yeah, exactly. Speaking of the difference of us, I consider myself very PC, but YouTube does not like some of my more colorful language, and I can't be beeping, and I can't be censoring, and I can't be cutting anything. We are Patreon only, very affordable. If you still can't afford it, you can DM me, but you better be poor as fuck. Okay, and we can figure something out. But we'll be doing 3 episodes a month.
That's good.
I'm taking 1 week off, and we're Patreon only now. And that way we don't have to worry about advertisers. We don't have to worry about YouTube. All the money made goes back into the podcast. It's just self-sustaining.
Yeah, smart.
Yeah.
Are you doing it with your guest?
Well, listen,
What am I
too
saying?
far was too far for some people. Okay.
YouTube
you know,
and-
we did a cool thing. We did an experiment. Sitting across from me is not for the faint of heart. Anybody who can do it 6 months, a year, kudos. That said, my co-host will be back whenever comfortable. In the meantime, we will have other co-hosts that maybe she agreed to having on or didn't agree to having on at some point. And it's always an open door.
Nice. I
Yeah.
can't wait to subscribe.
Thank you.
I'm on Patreon, like subscribing to other people's stuff.
Okay, Too Far on Patreon.
Fuck yeah. Okay, well, if you're hard to be like on a podcast with, why can't I think of what the fuck the word is? Co-host.
Right. I think I'm easy, but you know what we realized with this? I'm more of a podcaster. It's not a medium for everyone. You know,
You
when my
are-
co-host came to me, She never done a, you know what I mean? So it's not everybody wants to talk for an hour every week.
Yeah.
And some people are uncomfortable talking about their ex or whatever. I would bring up nothing topics. And, you know, there's a lot that some people don't want to talk about. They don't want to talk about, you know, the warts on their vagina or the skin there, you know, or the issues or you know, whatever. And podcasting is kind of what I do. Even though they asked me to do the podcast, it came apparent that, I feel very natural in this space. I mean, I take talk very seriously.
Yeah.
I always have considered it its own beast. Apart from stand-up, apart from writing, apart from acting and all the other things. Talk, to me, the art of the conversation is not something I take for granted or I just... Not everybody is good at it. Not to say that my co-host and I were very good at it, and I think we had a great yin and yang, and people liked it. Problem is, both people have to be having fun, and if it's at one person's expense, it can be difficult to sustain a bit for that long. But, you know, we used to really value conversation.
Do you think we don't anymore?
Well, I think it, you know, back in the day, if you had a dinner party, you would sit people who might get along and converse well together by each other. You know, there's things like that. And now we're starting to see with everybody having a podcast that some podcasts are very bad.
It's true.
Because they cannot talk.
Yeah.
It's the same idea with talk show hosts, you know, late night talk shows as we know it are dead, and executives are racking their brain why. It's like, this might sound crazy to say, but I believe a talk show host should know how to talk. I mean, it's wild to say this, but if you have a talk show host just reading off a prompter, a glorified 1 hour advertisement.
Yeah. And if they're all white men.
Yeah, I'm less
Does it
concerned
just
with
get
that.
boring,
If
though?
you're a white man and you talk well, if you're Howard Stern, I'm in.
Oh, you're
you know,
big
I
Howard
really
girl?
think the first priority should be talking well. And then giving people access. Everybody who talks well should have access to talking platforms.
Everyone.
Which is what YouTube and all this stuff does. You do have access if you're good at talking. So that's what we revealed through the experiment of starting our pod, is really that this is a medium that became a whole other business for me, really.
Well, you're like kind of a podcast slut.
Yeah.
You are.
Yeah.
Like, how many podcasts have you been on?
I do about 2 podcasts a week.
No way.
You know, some people, I think in stand-up especially, they go, you know, how do I write new material and this and that? And people come to see me. And sometimes when there's even an election, they go, oh, the world's not funny anymore. Or how are we going to make this funny or whatever? And it's like, to me, everything is talkable. Like,
Yeah.
as long as I'm having another day, I have new things to talk about. As long as I'm seeing again, I have new things to talk about. It's not something I have to think about. It comes very naturally to me.
Your well doesn't go dry.
No, you know what? Maybe it's cultural, but I also have a lot of practice with it.
It's like the gift of gab or whatever.
Yeah, the
You've
gift of gab.
got the gift of gab.
And it's something
And
that
you've
got
got
me
the
in
gift of
trouble.
gab, 'cause
And
you
I
got
have the real
Gabby.
gift of gab. Hi, baby.
so
Shout out to Gab. I got in trouble as a kid all the time for talking, not raising my hand and things like that. And it's something I've been able to monetize. It ended up being like, oh, not everybody is actually interesting.
Yeah.
And a good
You are very
talker.
interesting.
So it feels strange to talk about it in the sense of an art that talking is, but I really do believe it is.
It definitely is.
Yeah.
And you've got it.
Thank you.
You've got all the gifts of gab.
Thank you.
Wait, going back to falling in love fast. Do you think you fall in love fast?
This episode is sponsored by ZocDoc. I know. We have all made excuses for why we are not making our doctor's appointments. They can feel very daunting. It feels like it's going to take a lot of time. Maybe you feel like you're just going to get better on your own. But please, please, please stop putting off your doctor's appointments, because ZocDoc has made it so much easier. ZocDoc is a free app and website where you can search and compare high-quality in-network doctors and click to instantly book an appointment. We're talking about in-network appointments with over 100,000 doctors in every specialty, from mental health to dental health, and from primary care to urgent care, and so much more. You can filter for doctors who take your insurance, or ones that are nearby, or ones that are a good fit for any medical need you may have and are highly rated by verified patients. Once you find the right doctor, you can see their actual openings, choose a time slot that works for you, and click to instantly book an appointment. Appointments made on ZocDoc typically happen fast, between 24 and 72 hours after booking, and you can even sometimes score a same-day appointment. I love ZocDoc. I have used it. I recommend it to you, especially if you're not feeling well. So stop putting off those doctor's appointments and go to ZocDoc.com/exes to find and instantly book a top-rated doctor. That's ZocDoc.com/exes. And one more time, that's ZocDoc.com/exes. This episode is sponsored by Indeed. Hiring the right people quickly is so important, and I wish I had used Indeed when I was hiring for my business. When it comes to hiring, Indeed is all you need. Stop struggling to get your job post seen on other job sites. Indeed sponsored jobs help you stand out and hire fast. With sponsored jobs, your post jumps to the top of the page for relevant candidates, so you can reach the right people to hire faster. And it makes a huge difference. According to Indeed data, sponsored jobs posted directly to Indeed have 45% more applications than non-sponsored jobs. Plus, with Indeed sponsored jobs, there are no monthly subscriptions, no long-term contracts, and you only pay for results. How fast is Indeed? In the last minute I've been talking to you, there have been 23 hires made on Indeed, according to Indeed data, worldwide. There's no need to wait any longer. Speed up your hiring right now with Indeed. And listeners to this show will get a $75 sponsored job credit to get your job more visibility at Indeed.com/XS. Just go to Indeed.com/XS and support my show by letting Indeed know that I sent you. That's Indeed.com/XS. Terms and conditions apply. Hiring? Indeed is all you need.
If I fall in love, yes, but I don't fall in love often.
Yeah. Is your relationship with Gabby, like how much you guys streamlined it? Which, by the way, Robby's dating Gabby Wendy, who you might know. I've been on her podcast.
The star
she was on
the Traders.
The star of the Traders. She's amazing on it. Do you feel like this relationship, does it feel a lot faster than past relationships? Like, is it like, oh,
it's not fast, our relationship. I think because it's in the public, it feels fast, but we've been together almost 2 years. I don't, it's fast for people because by the time they found out about it, we already been dating for months and months.
Yeah. But you know what I mean? You say I love you like 2 weeks after you started dating?
So I did. So this is true. So you'll also notice I'm a hypocrite and I'm a walking contradiction. This is something with me at all times. I did with Gabby, but I'd never done that before.
Okay. Yeah, that's what I was wondering.
13
so that
days
does seem...
in with Gabby, I got a ring pop because I knew she was on The Bachelor. They like rings, whatever. I'm going to, so... I got her the ring pop and I asked her to be my girlfriend. And I just had to, I sat her down. I had to be very, I don't want to, beat around the bush here. I'm madly in love with you and I'd love if you were my girlfriend.
And didn't you say, and I know you love me too?
I do. Yeah, I said it, because, people go, well, what is this? What are we feeling? I go, we're in love, baby. I mean, this is what's happening. We need to wake up.
We're in love, baby.
This is what's happening.
That's interesting. I don't think I've ever dated anyone and been like, I'm immediately in love.
So then you've never fallen in love?
I don't know.
I don't think, so you thought you would date. And by the way, not every relationship has to be this grand big thing.
Yeah.
Not every relationship has to be the love of your life.
Well,
it is important to date. People need to calm down when people date and break up. This is the point of dating. You are doing a trial for your life. If long-term partnership is what you want, and the people who don't want a long-term partnership, I'm not talking about those animals today, okay? We are talking about people who want long-term partnership, dating and being in relationships, some short-term, some, mid-length, whatever, is all figuring that out. And it's normal and important and healthy for those to end when you realize you're not wanting the same things or you're not feeling the same things.
Yeah.
So there's nothing wrong with you guys breaking up. It's a positive. It gives you guys a chance to find if that's what you want. But I think something that confused me early on, and I've had some of those relationships where you date for 6 months, a year, and then you break up, is somebody, I really like. I like the companionship, love spending time with them, all that stuff, and hanging out and whatever, but it's not really as romantic as I would like or things like that. We always get gaslit. We get told, well, love grows. Give it time. So I would give things 6 months. I would give things a year, waiting for it to grow, waiting and confusing and being like, yeah, I guess I do love this person or whatever. But being in love is, it immediately. You don't have to even
you don't have to give it time.
No, you don't have to knowing the feeling of being in love is very natural. You don't have to find it. But I've been in relationships where I have to go, well, I guess we do love. We spend so much time together. We get along. We hang out. We have sex. I would then say okay, we're in love. But what I realized where I was wrong is I don't think love can grow if you don't start being in love. I think love can grow if you start by being in love. But from nothing does not come something in this department. Okay? So that's where we've confused it. Everybody's like, well, love grows. I agree if you started out in love. It can grow. It can also end. But if you start out in love, you have two options. You can grow more in love, or you can also still break up. If you don't start out in love and you keep going, it's not happening. You're doing nothing.
You're doing nothing. But how do you stay in love then?
I don't know how. It just is.
Yeah. That's
the thing. It's there isn't... I don't choose to be in love with Gabby. I am in love with Gabby. Now we're in our relationship where...
You moved in with each other?
It's scarier. I think for the stakes are higher. She, sometimes is because we love each other
so much.
I don't know. In the beginning, you don't really know each other. You love each other. You still know you love each other, but you don't know each other. And then you're worried somebody's going to know you and they're not going to love you.
Yeah.
Stuff like that. And that's where fights or arguments or talking through gets you further in love. Now if Gabby and I have fear or we have an argument and oh my God, does this mean we're not, whatever, getting through a knot like that, having to really get to know each other makes us more in love. So I've seen how love grows when you're already in love.
Yeah.
And it just feels like we want to clutch each other even more. But I haven't experienced that from somebody I haven't been in love with.
I understand. I get what you're saying. I also think, I'm just curious, I agree completely.
By the way, I know I complained, but thank you for the tea.
Oh my God, of course.
I appreciate it so much.
Of course. I'm I think there is an initial in love attraction thing that is chemical and you can't force it with someone if it's not there. But then what you're talking about, I think also goes into compatibility. And there are, you could be compatible day to day with someone, but then are you compatible when you go on a trip together?
Gabby and I are very compatible.
Well, I'm glad you guys are. But do you know what I mean?
Trips.
Until you face these things, how do you know that you will remain in love through them?
Right. And I also think that compatibility, nothing is I'm sorry, I could see Rebecca's texting. I'm so curious. What are you texting? Okay. Because then I'm such a nosy bitch that I'll be what's... And you're texting a lot. I'm is it your landlord? I will fucking get in there. Okay. If they're asking for 4%, they better show new windows. Okay. So I think everybody thinks it should be 100%. It's kind of my theory of if you're into long-term, being with somebody long-term is a harder endeavor. But I think a much more valuable and worth it endeavor for me personally. I think short-term fun and success and all that, is more fleeting. I think anything else in my life, the things I've worked hardest for are the most worth it. My career, I work very hard in my career, but I get to work for myself.
Yeah.
Like just the pride and the ability to sustain myself means so much to me through what I love, that even if it's so hard to do this and to continue to go out night by night and to not always know where my job, I have to get my next job. I have to do it. Everything I do is for myself. And I got to take care of myself and feed myself from also fulfilling myself. Okay. And that's a harder path than when I was working at kind of a cushy accounting job where, you know, it was easy to take that check and sustain myself, but not as worth it.
Yeah.
Self-fulfilling wise, you know?
No, I get that.
The same with a relationship. It's like, I'm very good at resisting temptation. And if I've repeated myself ever, please tell me. I'm an old man that way sometimes. Even on a prior with Gabby and I. I know we've talked a lot. We've had long nights together. Very fun when you and Becca were together. It's a shame because I liked the double date.
I know.
You're the only two people I said, Gabby, we can go on another double date with them. We really have been enjoying going on double dates.
We were fun.
You were very fun. And we went to our house after and we got to share a bottle of wine. I mean,
And
we were all gabbing. We were swapping dildos. I mean, it was very fun. Not in use, but just, you know, tips. I grew up kosher, so I'm very comfortable at resisting short-term temptation. I only ate food at my house. My mother cooked every day, which sounds idyllic now. But as a kid, I wanted was a nugget.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
If I could get my hands on McDonald's, non-Jewish kids, they had McDonald's, you know, things like that. And I would sometimes sit outside after school and my mother's making her meatloaf, or God knows what she was making that I don't want to eat when you're 9. And kids would go by and they had nuggets and it smelled so good in that waft. And eventually they would walk by me and the smell of amazing McDonald's went by me and supper was ready and my mother called us in and I ate her meatloaf and I was full. I was satiated. I wasn't thinking anymore of the McDonald's. I'm so comfortable letting temptations by me for the long term. The food my mother had, which was very healthy in the end, and, you know, made for a better life probably long term than being pre-diabetic or whatever. So
true.
I don't, that's the same with relationships. You know, I think being in a committed relationship, like you know, we all see shiny things and whatever and to look, but I'm very comfortable to almost not look.
Yeah.
It's not an effort for me to be monogamous. It's
me either.
It is the price, you know. So, but it's harder to do, and I think the drama of the short-term gain is very titillating to people. I think having dramas.
Yeah.
This bitch, I went out with this girl and I went out with this person and oh my God, but I think I have a crush on this person and doing affairs and all that. It's a very dramatic life.
No, it's so stressful.
Fights, drama. I know, but people feed off of, you know, the affair life or anything, you know, or short term going from this girl to this girl in 3 days and then next I have this girl I see in New York and whatever. And that can work for you. That drama is very...
Yeah, it's intoxicating.
It's intoxicating. That's the word. Thank you. But actually, the drama of maintaining stability is as dramatic. It's as dramatic. It's subtler. But believe me, we're getting the drama. It's just not chaotic drama like that. The drama of maintaining stability is way more worth it to me. It takes a lot more to not die on every hill.
Yeah.
To not, you know what I mean? It takes more self-control. It actually is a drama happening, but it feels like a very fulfilling drama.
Yeah, I was going to say it's like more fulfilling. I agree. I've never been a dater. That's also been my, like, I am a serial monogamous.
Yeah, that's what women are.
Well, it's crazy when they're not, isn't it? Like, I have lesbian friends who aren't. And also, like...
What are they?
What do you mean? Like they just will date like many women at the same time?
No. That's for fags. That's for gay guys. Here is how it goes down. Here's how it goes down. Okay. Poly, and I've talked about this, but poly and dating multiple, that is not for the faint of heart.
Yeah.
This is not a novice.
No.
level. This is for experts. This is for gay men.
Okay.
This is for gay men. Gay men, they are men. They have mastered this, and they are capable. And they are entrusted with the responsibility of dating multiple people, getting checked, getting their prep, doing everything. They have mastered. Okay? It is not for the faint of heart. Okay? Dykes are monogamous to the day we die. To the day we die, we are penguins. If you're fighting that, I'm telling you, it's going to come. You are a monogamous. That's what we want. Okay? Bitch, where the fuck are you going? That's what we are. That's what we are. Okay? And then straight people get to cheat. Okay? So that's how it works. Straight people, if you want multiple, it's don't ask, don't tell. Your wife, she doesn't want to hear about your other partners. Okay? Straight people being poly, please. God. You think this bitch wants to hear about your other girlfriend? Grow up. That is for gay men.
No, that's fair. Wait, but do you know that the divorce rate is highest for lesbians?
Well, but that's inaccurate. That was trolling because the sample size that they did was like very bad. It's like the divorce rate is higher. I forget why it was. Yeah, I actually had this argument.
I feel like I saw this as well.
But it was like they took 100% of lesbians. It's because gay men aren't getting married.
Yeah, it was like the statistics
was the whole thing.
were fudged.
It was like the same as straight people, but they compared us to gay men who weren't getting married.
Yeah.
So it was like, well, what are we comparing? Yes, of queer people, lesbians are the highest because
we also get married the most.
We also get married the most. Yeah. So that's why we have similar statistics to straight people because we are people and we're getting married. So people. Gay guys weren't getting married and.
It like the results were not correct, but
so that was it.
Yeah, I remember that. I'm so happy that you are so in love. I always say you and Gabby's relationship is so adorable.
Is it?
So cute with each other. Like truly cutest couple ever.
It seems random to people, and I know that people, I thought when she came out, because I said, you don't have to come out. We don't, because not only is a girl, but then it's like Jewish and Bachelor Nation and I don't need I don't need people thinking I took her away from the pool or something like this. I really had nothing to do with it. And it seems random, but it works. It's the pitch of the world. It's the pitch of me. It seems random, but actually it works.
Yeah. You guys are such a cute couple. Okay. How much have you talked about your top surgery?
A ton. I'm happy to.
Okay. Can we? I was like, are you going to pull them out? Yeah. Because you had great surgery.
Yeah.
But you also don't want to use they, them pronouns.
I mean, if it was less annoying or if the queer girls with the boyfriends didn't, totally appropriate it, I would use it. But I'm less concerned with language. I'm very free with language. I don't really care. I just care about getting to be who I am. Some people prioritize language. I mean, there are girls in mini dresses and heels who prioritize being they, them. To them, the word is the most important, not whether they look non-binary or, gender bending. It's that they, them is the most important thing. Yeah. It gives them, for me, the most important thing was getting rid of my tits and wearing the clothes I want to wear and being who I want to be. It really, language was not the top of my priority list. But fair. If you're a girl or if you're a they, them wearing a dress and heels and you go by they, them, that's also fair. I mean, I think it's important to remember people tend to vary. So what works for me doesn't need to work for somebody else. If somebody wants, they like a new word or whatever, it really doesn't affect me at all. Mm-hmm. People tend to vary. For me personally, I find the word annoying, which is fine. I'm allowed to have this opinion because some things, even if they're fair, can be annoying. Like me. I am right a lot of time. I'm also very annoying as a person. So, and you know what I mean? So it's all fine.
Yeah, I agree.
I just personally find it annoying, but I don't think it's wrong I have no opinion other than that.
Yeah. I also think you said something somewhere about how like the cheapest form of gender affirming care is clothing and like how you dress. And I think that is so insightful. The way you said it was just so casual. I think it even like got kind of breezed over, and I was like, wow, that is so true, because top surgery is expensive.
Very.
Like anything surgical in especially America is expensive, but like you can just go to Goodwill and like buy an outfit that's going to make you feel more like you.
Yeah, that's what I really changed. I care a lot about fashion and clothing, which can sound superficial, but I think it's so important.
Yeah.
I do. To some people, it's not. And even that, a non-importance or a non-emphasis on clothing and fashion is its own choice, some may argue. But I do find that, why have I always been into fashion or want, even as a kid, the right t-shirt or the right, you know, I think it helps you feel more you. It's non-surgical. It's non-invasive. I grew up poor. If you're poor, you know, and I used to be so embarrassed because before it was cool to shop at the Goodwill or whatever. My family went there, you know, that's where we shopped. And it was so embarrassing to go with my mother to go to Village de Valeur, which is Value Village in Quebec, you know, and being like 12 years old, even 14 years old, and you're a teenager and you're wanting to wear cool shit. And it wasn't like thrifting. Like everything was 50 cents. Like now it's like $6. So like, wow, okay. The rich really took over everything. But I remember early on when my first girlfriend ever wanted to go to Value Village to shop. And I was like, you're not poor. Like I was like so embarrassed, but I was like, oh, why would I go there? And you know, like, but I would find cool shit there.
Yeah.
And it made me feel much better. It's a way to feel yourself, like that it can be relatively cheap and relatively expensive depending. But but
definitely cheaper than anything surgical.
Definitely cheaper.
And also something that is like a more temporary expression. Like if you're in a place where you're like not exactly sure how you want to express yourself and what you want to wear or what you want to look like.
Clothing is amazing.
Yeah, it's like an easy way to experiment without doing anything.
Yeah, like I'm happy that clothing got in. Like I'm happy whatever Adam and Eve fucked up for everyone and now we have to wear clothes or whatever the original sin was. And she had an apple, she was starving. Whatever the original sin was. I'm happy that we ended up with clothing.
Me too.
I don't want to be waltzing around my ass out. One of my labia longer than the other. I don't need fucking problems.
No, I agree. Thank you, Eve, for eating that apple.
Yeah. Eve, this one goes out to Eve. She doesn't get the right respect.
Thanks, girl. Yeah, what do you wear? Oh, I guess I do know, but thinking about that, what do you wear when you go to the beach or like the pool?
I have a few bathing suits. I have also vintage, secondhand, which for a bathing suit, I know. But it's not like a women's bathing suit. We're not going puss to puss. Like I'm wearing a very like, which like, you know, even poor, like, you know, I love that people think that poor people everything use or everything. It's like, no, we had new bathing suits. Like there's certain like decorum, you know. But I'll wear like a wide board short, like a very baggy type of free flowing thing. I actually look really cute on the beach if you want to see.
Oh, I've seen your Instagram.
Okay, let's get it up let's put it
on the screen. Do you get like many looks in swimsuits? Like if you're on a like, weren't you guys in Cancun or something? You look so cute.
So get this in there.
Focus in on that.
Yeah, I do.
Like and just like do you feel like it feels like hatred looks or is it more like confusion?
No, see, I'm also not a waltzer. Like I'm like, when I'm wearing no shirt, I'm typically, it's not that populated. You know, I don't go tapless really in front of kids. I'm not here to scare anyone. If I saw scars as a child, you know, I remember we had, it's actually amazing the way my mother explained this to us because she's not trying to be progressive. In fact, she, you know, but we had this cousin, Pinsky, this enormous jolly man who I don't even know how he was related to us.
Perfect.
Like, but he's the kind of guy who would show up once a year. My mother would like make him a sound like, oh, Pinsky's coming. Like she would be, and he had this enormous girlfriend. Now, we are 10 Jewish children. We're tiny. So maybe everything looked enormous to us.
True.
I'm not, the biggest person that ever lived. So, and she must have been 9 feet tall.
Okay.
Okay. And heels and the whole thing and mini dress. And we're kind of religious kids. And my mother let everybody into the house and she's feeding them and whatever. And I was just, kind of at my mother's hip, but she was making them sandwiches. And I was like, why is Pinsky's girlfriend so tall? Why is she so big? And my mother was like, she was born a boy and now she's a girl. Okay. And this is like and I'm like, oh, no further questions. Like as a kid, that makes so much sense to you. You're like, okay, so it makes sense she's tall. And you move on. Like there's such a way, like my mother just succinctly said the truth. Mm-hmm. I had it made perfect sense. Mm-hmm. And you have perfect acceptance.
Yeah. Kids like don't
but
care.
My mother too. Well,
yeah.
she was born a boy, now she's a girl. I'm like, oh, Ma, did you nail it or what? And then we just like, oh, that's great.
Moved on.
And I never even thought of it, but that was her but it, in a way, it's amazing that nothing was tiptoed as a child or whatever. Only truth was spoken, and it was all accepted as truth and fine, and it was the truth.
Yeah. So then would you want to be the same kind of representation as like Pinsky's girlfriend on the beach? So someone's like,
yeah, see, I don't.
Or does it make you more uncomfortable when it's?
It depends because it was such a conversation. Now, back then, it wasn't a conversation. So it was very.
It was like so foreign that it was just like.
It was like now I feel I'm especially scrutinized. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Pinsky's girlfriend, I don't know if they ever got married, became wife. Like we just knew her very like casual. Like there was no discussion.
Yeah.
And there didn't need to be either.
There was like no identity politics happening.
There was no identity politics. It was like, oh, Pinsky and his girlfriend's like we had our own problems. My mother was like one of 10 kids. We've had to explain that. Well, she joined a religious cult. She had 10 kids. So it's like everybody had their own differences.
Yeah.
Everybody was different.
Yeah.
And it was all made sense. I lived in a Jewish and black neighborhood. Everybody had differences and they all made sense. Mm-hmm. Now differences all have like a lot of scrutiny to them. Like we can't believe that people are different from one another. Like suddenly,
we haven't been the whole time.
Yeah, it's like people are different. Like it's this new discovery. And it's, I don't know. I've never felt it. So now I feel like because there's like more of a look.
Yeah.
That people could be looking at me. But I tend to do this in private situations. Or I wear a, what's called a rash guard. Which I didn't know. I'm like long sleeve swimming shirt. So it's called a rash guard. I got it on Amazon. It's excellent. I actually got this lime green one on Amazon. Don't get the white. I thought white, cute, goes with everything. If you have sunscreen, the white is yellow. It looks like pit stains all over your neck, everywhere. Do not get white rash guards. I think that is an important tip because, by the way, a rash guard, it could be 30. I think my rash guard was $34.99 something to swim in. So, but that said, you don't have to wear sunscreen with the rash guard because it's sunscreened. Yeah. It's like UV or something. Yeah. But I got a green, so if I have sunscreen, do not get the white rash guard. I cannot stress this enough. If you're a dyke and you're swimming,
don't do it.
So I got the rash guard, and I don't get girls' rash. Stop making women's things
shaped like that.
Seamed. Like that, okay? I mean, then Gabby's like, well, what am I going to wear? No, so fine. But, like, please.
No, like the women's cut T-shirts from when we were little, remember? Where they like...
It's terrible, and Gabby still loves that. She's like, what do you think of this? I'm like, that's so small.
Yeah, it's like folding babies' clothes.
Fine, just keep making things... Dykes will figure it out. We will cut around your clothing, and we will figure it out, as we always have.
We will cut. Are you using scissors on a lot of your...
All my shirts I cut, but I was thinking of really investing. I was like, I'm going to bring 10 shirts that I've cut. and I'm going to go to the tailor and have them sew the bottoms. Like, what's that going to cost? I'm like, it's probably going to be $200 just to seam the bottoms, but it might be really worth it.
I think it would be worth it, especially if you have something you want to wear like that's nicer.
Like,
as I'm
all
sitting
the
here with my
t-shirts,
cut shirt.
Yeah, no, I know.
And they're always like rolling up.
Yeah, like that's the thing is like you can tell I cut it, which was like cool for a second, and now I'm like, it's kind of like when I see a dude and he's rolled the sleeve of a jacket, but not in a way that's like to cuff a jean jacket, which also is horrific. But he's like, you know, like
It just doesn't
rolled
fit him.
it and pretended that we all can't see. Like, you got to take that sleeve in.
Yeah. Yeah. Well,
I feel like that. I feel like that.
I think because we're also getting older. Like, I feel like when you're like 26, 27, walking around with like a cut shirt, you're like, yeah, I'm doing this to be cool. As you start getting older, I'm like, oh my God, I am dressing like a teenage boy, but have I gone through puberty enough yet?
Yeah, I just...
Like,
no,
I think
exactly.
I'm ready to like elevate to a man. Like, I'm going to dress like a good-looking man.
Yeah, and I do that sometimes. I think I've really nailed the formal and the cash.
So good.
But
As someone who's followed you for a while.
what was that?
I said, as someone who's followed you for a while, I feel like you're really getting it down. Like, you're figuring it out.
People really, it's bizarre because I never thought I cared so much about it. But I guess because I'm meticulous with everything and I don't buy a lot of things, what I buy, I really, need it to fit
Nice.
perfect, and I'll cut it myself or whatever. But I think people can tell I'm really comfortable in my clothing.
Yeah.
And I think that's a big part of it too.
That's a huge leap for anyone queer like us.
Well, it's not, because again, we are skinny and hot.
Well,
for
true,
our
true.
community.
I mean, like, as someone who definitely, I know, because I've seen you in like dresses and like weird outfits. So it's like, there's no way, there was no world where you and I were supposed to be wearing those clothes.
No. Nobody wants to see this
No, it doesn't.
unclothed.
It's unclothed.
No, it's unbecoming. Please.
Wait, how's your gym journey going?
I'm going right after this. I'm going right after this. I'm going. You're going? So let's go. We'll go. When I'm here, like, I really want to go 3 times a week.
Yeah, I agree. I started doing like little workouts at home.
No, not doing that.
But just get like 2 like 8-pound weights.
I'm not doing it.
I watch TV and I just am like,
not doing it. Not doing it. My only solace going to the gym is getting the smoothie after for $13 USD. Okay? I wait for the smoothie the entire time. I am not somebody, I hate the gym from the second I get there. It's great after. The only thing I like about the gym is being finished. Being finished. But I have never been somebody, even when I worked out 3 months in a row, I never get a runner's high. I never get a high. And you know what I read? It's actually a ruse. A lot of people don't get that. Okay, there are a few people in population who like that. And for other people, it's hard work. And I just have to again go to myself. Well, I don't get to enjoy everything. It goes back to being kosher. Who am I, King Tut, that I think I get to enjoy everything? No, you got to go to the gym, and it's like eating your vegetables. It's good for you. So fine. Now, so that's the way I look at it. But it's kind of like being kosher. Again, I didn't get everything I wanted, but or being in a long-term relationship. Some people aren't incapable because they're like one person the rest of your life, but you can't have this candy and that candy. And I'm like, great, you can have 90% of what you want.
yeah,
That's the best. Like, live a life where you get 90%. 100? What are you, King? Like, no.
you think you are?
I am very comfortable having most of what I want, not everything.
yeah.
I am super comfortable in that space of having most of what I want, not anything, not everything. I want everything, but I'm comfortable not having everything.
Comfortable with 90%.
And the gym is that.
What is like your gym goal?
I would like to. I'm doing the V taper. I have a natural broadness on here. I have an enormous ass and thighs and stomach. I'm I'm skinny but lumpy. Like if you saw any old Jew naked, it would be like a Larry David or Woody Allen. I don't know who you need to see, but I'm also like that naked. Like, yes, we are thin, but what kind of thin are we talking about? I'm skinny lumpy.
So you just want to get like more in shape.
Yeah, I always want to lose like 12, 15 just in my bottom half, and I want to rip on top.
Yeah. I don't want to be like cut on top.
Well, you're cut.
Well, I'm working on it. I've just started going to the gym, like actually when I was in New York. Now I'm going to start going back here.
I wish I could take tea.
But you could.
No, I don't know enough of the long-term effects of the tea. But I'm very jealous of all my friends on tea who are fucking buffed out and look great.
You could take like a micro dose of tea.
But then you
for
get
like,
the facial. There's so many things I don't want.
You don't want,
I
yeah.
want a giant clit.
Yeah.
I will fuck Gabby with that clit. Okay, I will enjoy the fuck out of my dick clit, whatever it is. Click. How do you do dick and clit? Click. Out of my click. That's a dick click. I would fuck so hard with my click, you have no idea. Can we trademark that?
Yeah,
Click?
please. It does
So
not
that's
like
what I
have a
want.
good ring to it at all.
The click? Is that not turning anybody on, Rebecca? How big is your click? I'm talking 1.5 inches, motherfuckers. I am talking 1.5 inches.
I can't recover from that.
It's too big for my labia hood to cover.
That's what you want. Okay, what don't you want?
I don't want to go bald. I already
Yeah.
play with my hair so much. Okay, since the 3rd grade, I'm not giving. By the way, I had to spray tan Gab yesterday.
I was wondering. I saw that earlier.
And now I'm spray tan for life.
Yeah.
Just like
That
this will not wash off.
Every girl who's dated like a femme girl has had her hands look like that at some point.
I mean, it just. I thought it was shit. I'm like, did I wipe my own ass in the middle of my sleep? Because it's just the worst
it develops
color like
overnight
this.
too. Also, if they just have a spray tan and you like hold them, you can wake up in the morning and have it like down one of your arms.
Exactly. Thank God. Gabby insists on white sheets and then does something like a spray tan. I'm like,
Okay, you don't want to go bald.
I don't want to go bald. I
want a
already play with
click.
my hair, so I have to be careful with that. I want a big click. I don't want more hair.
That would.
I don't want facial hair. I don't want chest hair. I don't want ass hair. We're already trying to laser. I'm very ad hoc with it. I've done it a few times. It works really well. But you got to go. You got to shave. It's a whole thing. I am shaved most of the time, but you got to shave right before you. It's a whole. You got to schedule it. And yeah, but I want the fat redistribution.
Yeah.
My child rearing hips can go into my shoulders, back, wherever they came from, and just get right back up there. Yeah, I just want to buff out and I want a big clit. And I don't want my voice to change. I have no interest in that.
Yeah. Well, and those are like the things I think that are irreversible. Some of those things that you don't
they're all
want.
irreversible.
Yeah.
They're basically all. But it really is annoying to me that we haven't isolated these changes yet.
Well, I was going to say, I'm sure soon, but now I'm like, maybe not.
What do you mean? We've been saying I'm sure soon. I would have
I'm
had
saying,
these
like,
isolated. I would have
gonna
taken
say-
3 mice. I would have isolated this in seconds.
No, well, it's going to happen actually anyway, even with like the trans laws and stuff that are terrible, because like women who have gone through menopause are using testosterone to get their like libido back up.
Well, men are using testosterone too.
Exactly. So, but because of that, they must be doing that research already, but it's not for trans people. Do you know what I mean? Like
It doesn't matter because it's not getting done. I'm telling you, it's not getting done because it doesn't have anything to do with the administration. We had Biden. Get it? It should have been done 10 years ago.
Yeah, but they are doing it. It is happening because there are a lot of people isolated. Yeah, but it's not with trans
anyone.
people in mind. It's for.
By the way, we don't need trans people in mind. Just stop having us in mind.
Yeah,
We don't want to be in mind. By the way, I'm like, I don't even know where I fit anymore. But it's like, just don't have us in mind.
Stop.
Just pay no mind.
Stop thinking about us.
That way I can go on the beach, pay no mind.
Yeah.
I don't even want to be like, I can't believe how non-anonymous I am the way I am. I like being non-anonymous, my comedy and what I do, but people thinking about me in that way, It's weird. Then again, am I the biggest walking hypocrite of all time? Am I throwing up nudes on Instagram? You better believe it. So I want you to pay mine when I choose, but do not pay your own mind.
But I think that's fair, right? Okay, just quickly, so we talk about sex.
But anything.
First of all, I have held your dildo.
Yeah.
You did make me put my finger inside of your dildo.
It's good, right?
Yeah.
We have one that it's got a hole at the end of it, and it's got
click.
a suction, so you put your little click in it, and it squeezes it, naturally, kind of from the the natural suction of.
Yeah.
You got to feel it.
You know what you could do?
What?
But I don't know how comfortable you are with this idea, but like you could pump.
No, I once ordered a pump. It doesn't work, a pump.
Really? The tiny ones?
Yeah, they don't work.
They're like, look like that little?
Yeah, they would work for that day.
Yeah. You have to do it.
A pump is not a long term.
No. It would be like that day you're doing it.
Yeah, so then I'm sitting there pumping. Like, it's so unbecoming. This as a solution is so offensive that you've asked me to pump my little clit. Like, what am I doing with my life? Like, that is, like, to me, rock bottom of what I could be doing. Okay, it's so embarrassing. Nobody's even there and I'm embarrassed. That's the kind of embarrassing it is. Nobody's even there to watch me. If you're alone, embarrassed in a room, and nobody's there to hear it, was it embarrassing? It was. It absolutely was. And this is the solution they give me. Why don't you take a little glass pump and pump? What? This is what you're offering me in 2020? This is where the science is at?
I can't handle that being rock bottom for you.
That is just, we have.
It is like unbecoming thinking about
it
like
is
putting
so
yourself in that
unbecoming.
position. But I can't stop.
I mean, this is the solution they're giving us. That's why they're not anywhere close to getting it done.
No.
I would have isolated this drug, testosterone, this, that, and the other. Clit growth, boom.
Boom. But like, maybe it does exist. Should we look?
It doesn't exist. I'm on Grow Your Clit on Reddit. They got a subreddit there. It's mostly for us. These are facts. These are not. What are we? It's nothing to be embarrassed about. There's a lot of women who want bigger clits, and their husbands like it too. And they're like, look at my wife's big clit. It's getting bigger. But
how are they doing
use
it?
T-gel very strategically.
Yeah.
And it's a big balance. And you really don't know what changes are going to take you or not when you take something like this.
Yeah. Well, just even seeing the variation of different people on tea, like the changes that each person has.
Yeah,
it's
it would
very
be horrifying
obvious.
to take tea and then become ugly.
Not many people do.
Because so many guys are so hot.
I know.
But then sometimes there's a tipping point and they go, uggo. And they feel better, but they also, it sucks. It's like, God, come on. We haven't been through enough, bro.
Oh my God.
I'm finally doing the shit. Make it good.
I know.
Make it good. Leave my hair. Square out my jaw. Chisel these pecs. Rid of my ass. Please leave it hairless. Like, have we not been through enough?
I cannot.
It's just,
stop laughing.
it's so sad to see a friend take the dip over. Cute. Oh. And it's discouraging for me.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not going to take that risk. I'm a cutie.
Yeah.
I happen to be, this is as good as it gets for somebody like me.
You look great.
I look great and fine. Is it exactly what I want it to look like or whatever? Maybe not. But you know what? I don't get exactly what I want.
You got 90%.
I get 90% of what I want.
Exactly. If you did do tea, would Gabby like support you?
Yes.
Yeah.
I think she would support me no matter what.
Yeah.
If she did tea, I would support her.
Good for you. Well,
by the way,
because I do think there are I think that can be a complication. Anyway,
No, it can be, of course, and plus mood swings. It's not everybody. The guy's going through puberty. Get out of. I have 5 brothers who went through puberty. It's not for the faint of heart.
No,
I would move out. I think that for couples doing this, take a year.
Yeah. And
separate for a year, different apartments. Because who wants to live with a teenager all of a sudden?
Yeah.
You're in your 30s, you're going to live with a teen. No! First of all, I'm not a pedophile. Okay? You're asking me to do something that morally morally, I'm something, you know,
You're
a
not comfortable.
prepubescent boy. It's hard for me to wrap my head around something like that.
That's fair.
So let's just, when you come back a man,
Then you can move in.
then come over. Oh, you gotta come back a man. Okay, you have your bar mitzvah on your own. I'll send $18, and then you come back. That's probably the best course of action for people.
Yeah, you're right. Oh my God. Okay, I can't stop laughing. Would you do an advice segment with me?
Of course.
Okay, but before I'm going to
By the way, I want to thank you for having me on here. You have a very big platform, and I appreciate it.
Well, thank you for coming. You're
Yeah.
hilarious. I would have you anytime. Where can people find you?
Go to Instagram, Robby Hoffman, ROBBY. HOFFMAN for nudes and all my comedy dates. My Too Far podcast is back. Patreon only, very affordable. I think it's $5. I might make it $3. The truth is, I don't know how to work Patreon, but I know we're on Patreon only. I'm going to look into it, okay, and I'm going to make it as affordable as possible. Again, if you're poor, you better be very poor. Okay, I need to... okay, then we will figure it out for you. I know people need my content. And that's it.
Perfect. Okay. All of Robby's information will be in the bio below. The Instagram, all of your tour dates, they'll be all below. So if you want to catch Robby anywhere in the world, it'll be down there.
My Netflix verified second
Oh, yeah,
episode, Netflix verified, is still on there. I am first up, second episode. So
Yeah.
it's done very well.
I'll link that too.
It's pretty buried. So the fact that people have found it, thank you.
Okay, bye guys. I hope you enjoyed this episode. You can catch us over on Patreon. We're going to give you guys some advice, and all of Robby's
Scissor it.
information is below. With your spray tan hand.
Literally.
Your poop finger.